True story. Jack and I were out filming the Ford Everest when I had completely forgot that we were expecting a delivery of a vehicle in the apartment on that same day. It's not really an issue, it happens all the time. It's just that, well, Lisa likes a heads up so that she knows that she needs to go downstairs, inspect the vehicle before actually signing for it. Now on that day, I was expecting a delivery of this, the 2022 Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive Turbo. Now, I knew she'd be miffed, but strangely enough, when I walked through the door, she only had one question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much trouble would we be in if we never returned the vehicle? Because apparently this zircon sand color is a winner. Now, no matter how pretty a car is, I'm not going to be that devoted to a criminal act until at the very least I drive the automobile, which I have, and then figure out how to get away with it. And pin Jack for the blame because he looked good in orange.
What?
What? We were fortunate enough to spend some time with the CX-5 for a quick walk around. I'm sure that the links are somewhere above or in the description below. There we talked about some of the changes on the exterior, the interior, the tech and convenience. Now for the benefit of those that did miss out on it, we will run through some of those changes yet again, just before we go to answering the two big questions that we couldn't on our walk around, which was fuel efficiency and just exactly how it drives. So let's begin. On the front clip, a huge Mazda logo that shields some tech sensors on top of a new blacked out grille. Similar cuts along the face, but with the absence of fog lamps, since these LEDs, like those of the CX-9, are sufficient to illuminate the road. This zircon sand color isn't excluded from body cladding, front, rear, or center, and is only found on the all-wheel drive Turbo. Bit of chrome around the windows, repeaters and cameras on the side mirrors, and 19-inch alloys wrapped in 55 series tires, which are the same design as the CX-9, albeit an inch smaller. Then you've got 195 millimeters of ground clearance with disc brakes all around. Oh, and because it's rainy season? Anyway, I noticed this just recently with Mazda cars, that the door comes all the way down and it protects this part of the automobile. Now what that does when it becomes a little too muddy, because it's rainy season, it protects you from soiling your legs or your pants when you get in and out of the automobile, because it shields you. Pretty nifty. The tail lamps are a bit tamer in terms of depth. The black cladding underneath has increased in reach, and the exhaust tips have a better flex on them. When you open the power tailgate, it will reveal over 430 liters of space, which is definitely good enough for a balikbayan box and other baggages left and right, even with the tonneau on. The tonneau is nice because it's not in the way and you can easily remove it, but even with the balikbayan box, it's not an issue at all. And then of course, when you fold the seats, you're looking at over 1,300 liters of space. The beauty about it is that it's got some flexibility in the sense that the seats don't fold as a 60-40. They actually fold as a 40-20-40, which is pretty nifty. The rear doors, as you can see, open extremely wide. I like that for passengers at the back to get in and out very, very easily. Space is very good. That's my normal driving position, so even if I were to put Jack back here, he'd still be very comfortable. Leg room is good. Headroom is very, very good, actually. Elbow room is obviously going to be great for 4 passengers, meaning 2 at the rear. A third passenger, like I mentioned during the walk around, not going to be a great idea because there is a slight tunnel that you can see right here, and it's kind of a tight fit. So 4 passengers inside the automobile is great. What's great too is the leather inside this automobile. This was lifted off of the CX-9. It is a red Napa leather and it is gorgeous. If the red doesn't come out on camera, it's a very, very deep red. Under the sun, it really does come out and it's gorgeous. Toys back here include 2 air vents found here up front. but there are no charging points found here. That's because, as I mentioned in the walk around also, the charging points are found right here. They're actually facing me, but there's a USB sign right there. And then of course, 2 cup holders here, a small little, I guess, divot where you can put your cell phone in, and then bottle holders on either door. It's actually very, very comfortable to be back here because there's good give to the seats and your legs are supported well enough that, look, see it properly? Yes, I know I'm a short guy, but even tall people won't have issues back here. Why does it always have to fall on short jokes? Really, Jack?
You're the one who wrote the script.
No, you were thinking short jokes since kanina pa. We got up this morning and you were thinking it already. Up front, it is similar to that of the previous model, which is a good thing because it was already a nice automobile to start with. You've got 2 analog gauges that flank a circular digital trip computer. You have a touchscreen infotainment system that has wireless Apple, but unfortunately it's still wired Android. They took out the DVD player, which is nice. I was always making fun of that. Then they added a lot of soft touch materials all over the automobile, including wood trimmings. You've got a 12-volt socket found here underneath the air controls. Some piano blacks, which again, I'm not a big fan of. Then the commander knob for the infotainment system there. And then you've got your wires, or rather your USB ports found here in the glove box in the center. It's not all great because this infotainment system hasn't been updated to the latest one that Mazda has that you can see in more of their later products. The other big updates in this automobile would be now that there are paddles on the steering wheel, which wasn't there on the previous model. And what was lifted off the CX-9 is that you now have cool seats. There are buttons right here that turn on your cool seats. And these things work so well that if I turn them on, I can convince Lisa to bungee jump off of like the Tokyo Tower. They're that good. Oh, and then the biggest change of them all is found up front. It's essentially a shot of adrenaline. See, Mazda ripped out and replaced the heart with that of the CX-9, which is a 2.5-liter, 4-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission that produces 234 horses and 434 Newton-meters of torque. Now, that's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.7 seconds. You've got a top speed of 224 kilometers per hour, damn near enough torque to rival that even of a BT50, and just that shy of horsepower of an FDRX7. You ever see Pulp Fiction? Uma Thurman? Yeah. Yeah, that. Let's go for a drive, but before we do, I'd like to be able to take this out properly. There we go, finally got it. Do consider liking this video if you think it deserves it, and give us a subscription too, because we create these videos just for you guys. So again, to reiterate, one of the bigger questions that we had was fuel efficiency. Is it still as fuel efficient as previous Mazda models? I'm dying to find out. Behaved, you can do about 8 kilometers per liter inside the city. That's a mix of stop and go traffic and a little bit of a walang pasok kind of a thing. Now on the highway, again, behaved, you can do about 15.5 kilometers per liter. So if you think about it, it's not all that far from the fuel efficiency of the previous model, which in all respect is actually pretty darn good. When you get past fuel efficiency and you open her up, that's when it becomes clear why Mazda would swap out the engine of the CX-5 for that of the CX-9, essentially also putting it in a car that's close to 500 kilograms lighter. And the answer is it's the exciting thing to do. When you're light on the throttle, there's very little surge that brings you forward, like when you're stuck in traffic. When you're heavy on the throttle, it feels like the power is always there. It's like it serves it to you on a plate, and it's readily available throughout the rev range. And since it's an all-wheel drive system, well, you never feel like it's pulling you or pushing you. It just feels like it's never on its heels. It just stands up and goes, really. You've got ventilated front seats, you've got a sunroof, you've got a 10-speaker Bose system. It's really all very quiet and comfortable in here. Quiet because, well, the NVH has definitely improved. See, what Mazda has done is that they've added certain materials underneath and sort of like restructured the undercarriage as well to make it as quiet as possible. Even with the large 19-inch wheels, man, they've done a great job. Now, as for the rest of the driving dynamics of the vehicle, it's much like most other Mazda products, which is to say that it's really honed in on the driver, and it's really great. It can take your daily mundane drives and really turn it into something fun and exciting. Look, the smiles per liter in this car is fantastic, and I know it's a cliche, it's a really bad one, but it's a cliche for a reason, because it's true. 2022 Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive Turbo is available at 2,380,000 Philippine pesos. Now, without sugarcoating, it is currently the most expensive, non-premium, if you can even call it that, internal combustion compact crossover in the market today. But it is also the most powerful, the most dialed in, and in my opinion, one of the best looking ones out there. Now, I'm not saying it could replace a red 2006 WRX with 4 criminals on board and a boatload of cash, but it's damn near close. Sure, it costs an arm and a leg, but truthfully, it's worth it with what all the upgrades that Mazda has put into the CX-5. It builds on the previous model and turns everything up to an 11.